Hey, this is Bryan Matthew Ward.
And this is Jared Peterson.
And we're doing a video on the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my god!
What was that? What was that? Oh my god!
Whoa. Oh, whoa. Okay.
I just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom. I am so sorry because it is my fault. Because it was my project.
The search of the three missing Montgomery College students continues in Frederick County tonight.
10 days and thousands of man-hours have been unable to produce any clues.
We have a few leads, a few other options we want to take advantage of, and just try to put together some pieces to this puzzle.
Do you believe the occult may be involved in the disappearance of your son?
I am so scared.
Alright, we just watched the Blair Witch Project, which was suggested to us by one of our viewers who shall remain unnamed. I kind of think that might have been a prank, choosing that movie.
Yep.
I honestly have the same exact feelings about the movie that I had when I first watched it all those years ago, which is, how did this even get into theaters? Now, I will say this. I think that the movie is, like, if you have an aspiring filmmaker who thinks that their work is not good enough to make it, or that they can't make a movie that could do well, this should inspire them, because this movie was practically nothing. I think that
It's not a movie. Yeah, like you, I had the same feeling. I saw it when it came to home video sometime in early 2000, I guess. I mean, this thing came out in 99, and I didn't like it then, and I still don't like it now. It's barely a movie. It's hard to watch. It's 81 minutes that goes on forever.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I will say is the marketing of this film was brilliant.
It's the most interesting thing about the movie is the marketing.
Yeah. I mean, to make a movie like this, make that much money, I mean, the marketing did its job and went way above and beyond what the normal job of marketing is, because nobody makes a movie this bad, make this much money for this little. I mean,
to an extent, I would say the Blair Witch Project is almost beyond our standard definitions of good and bad.
yeah.
Because everything about the Blair Witch Project, the movie, is very little to do with all of it. The marketing was the thing, and I saw it not long after it came out, and wasn't really thrilled with it then. And now, we're sitting here 18 years later, and it's removed from the marketing. It's nothing.
Yeah, and it spawned a sequel which actually had a legitimate budget and was a legitimate story, more legitimate actors than what was in the original. And I mean, I'm just saying, in comparison, and in my opinion, was better. I mean, and then you got this new one, which I hated watching the new one too. But going back and watching this, I realized the new one is much better than this.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing I will say in defense of the Blair Witch Project, is the actors aren't bad. Given if it was a thankless task, but I mean, they sell it. I think knowing a bit about the background of it, they kind of had to. If you read about the making of the movie, it sounds like one long prank rather than the making of the film. This is the kind of thing Leonardo DiCaprio gets Oscars for now. Out in the cold, the filmmakers would legitimately mess with them during the night, you know, to get a performance. So, heard it here first. 2019, Leonardo DiCaprio is the Blair Witch.
Now, I just want to say that going and trying to watch this a second time felt like work. Like, I was struggling to actually stay watching this.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really struggling, and then toward the end, me and Jared started just talking about other movies. Like, somehow we brought up Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and started talking about that, which is a good movie, and just talking about...
Do not seek the treasure.
We thought
Yeah,
he
I mean-
was a toad.
I was sitting right here in this seat, and you know, fighting the urge to just read my phone. Or,
Yeah.
And you know, we did start talking about anything else. Mainly trying to keep it on top of the Blair Witch, but
Didn't we even get on the Muppets at some point?
yeah, the Muppets.
What? You're overacting. You're hamming it up.
I am not. I am trying to save this movie.
Oh, yeah? Well, save your performance instead.
I am playing 800 different emotions.
Well, try to play one of them right.
Oh, look, I have a career of my own.
I know all about your career,
I
pig.
don't need this lousy duck
Ah,
farm here.
sure you don't need a lousy
Then
duck
just
pond.
walk.
Okay,
You
sure,
can
go
walk.
ahead,
Sure.
walk, okay, walk.
But yeah, it's Blair Witch is an interesting phenomenon because it's really what it is, more so than a movie. It's everything else that it either established or kind of inspired. I mean, you had the viral marketing, which boosted this thing to just an ungodly box office. If you ever take a trip into the interwebs and decide to look at the movies of 1999, especially at the box office, you'll be shocked by some of the movies that outgrossed that year. Movies that are considered modern classics, like Fight Club.
Nice big cock.
The one that surprised me is Eyes Wide Shut, which was made by the master Stanley Kubrick. And I just cannot imagine a movie like this outgrossing Stanley Kubrick. That just blows my mind.
Well, outgrossed the Iron Giant, the much lauded at the time American Pie, a lot of the teen movies like 10 Things I Hate About You. It outgrossed Being John Malkovich. It just made a ton of money for really nothing on screen. I mean, and when I say nothing, it's the movie does an admirable job for what it is as far as building tension. It's just the tension doesn't really go anywhere.
See, I kind of disagree. I think that it does a horrible job building tension, but
it makes it really tense in the viewing room. What am I doing here? But I mean, it did change the way films were marketed for at least a while, and it changed the horror genre.
And I guess without it, you wouldn't have movies like VHS, which I like.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have movies like what was it called, Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity, the whole series that I also
And they
don't
even,
like.
well, I was just gonna say I like it better than I like Blair Witch, but they had their own version of viral marketing that was inspired. I mean, they had the whole Demand It thing.
Yeah, and also briefly, I mean, I think you still have some remnants of that on cable TV, but like the reality show, like, hey, Blair Witch, you know, made people think it was real. Why don't we try doing this for real? And there were shows like MTV's Fear, some Ghost Adventures, Ghost Bros. Is Ghost Bros the real show, or did I just make that up?
I don't know, but it sounds about right.
Cool. It's a landmark film in the essence that the film is not the biggest thing about it, and it's got like all these like achievements and everything, and it's just nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
It was for a short time the highest grossing independent film of all time until it was unseated by My Big Fat Greek Wedding, which is also a more enjoyable watch than the Blair Witch Project. It also, in the horror side of things, grossed more independently than Halloween, which is just wrong.
Yeah. That's one of the greatest horror films of all time.
And this was 3 amateur actors with cameras. And I think a lot of the disconnect with this thing is there's no shot composition, there's no score. That's why I said it's barely counts as a movie.
But
There's acting. That's about it.
At the same time, I've seen like found footage films that I thought were done way better and like actually pulled it off. So I mean, like losing the shot composition and stuff isn't necessarily the reason why I think that movie wasn't good to me.
To be honest, I mean, you look at a lot of the other found footage movies, and there's some cheats that help them along.
Oh my god. I'm so scared right now. That was a horrible movie. I just want to apologize to everybody that saw this. I didn't make it, but I still feel the need to apologize. I can't find Jared. I don't know where he is. Jared, you're just standing in the corner, staring at a wall. Are you alright?
Oh, I'm just looking at the wall, man. It's got throwing it.
Oh, it's really weird. Okay, for next time, if you guys have any requests for movies for us to watch and talk about, just let us know.